Okay, we have a rational equation here. In other words, we have an equation that has a fractional exponent, and the numerator of that fraction is even. It's an even number, so that means that there are potentially two solutions. Well, there will be two solutions. One of them might be extraneous, but when we're going through the steps for solving this, we're going to have to introduce this plus or minus at some point, and I'll show you where in just a minute. That's always the case when the numerator is even. So we want to get rid of the 2/3. You want to get rid of that rational exponent. So we raise this side to the reciprocal power, to the 3/2 power. And of course we have to raise this side to the same thing, to the 3/2 power. This is where the plus or minus gets introduced. So it's plus or minus 36 to the 3/2 power. On the left side, the 2/3 raised to the 3/2 power, we multiply those exponents so they cancel each other out. You just have x minus 5 is equal to, and here we have plus or minus, and it's I'll just write it in again, 36 to the 3/2 power. Now we could evaluate that just using a calculator if you wanted to, but I'm going to show you how to convert this to radical form. So bring down my x minus 5 is equal to plus or minus. So when we do this conversion to radical form, remember the denominator becomes the index of the radical, so it's going to be a square root of 36. And then the numerator becomes the exponent that we're going to raise that square root to. We're going to raise that square root to the 3rd power. And now we can simplify it. We can simplify that radical. So I've got x minus 5 is equal to plus or minus, well, the square root of 36 is 6 cubed, and 6 cubed, 6 times 6 times 6 would be 216. Now the two solutions are going to come from of course the plus or minus, and I think the easiest thing to do now is to go ahead and identify this as two separate solutions as follows. We got x minus 5 is equal to the positive 216, and we have x minus 5 is equal to the negative 216 from the plus or minus. And then we just solve each of these little guys. We add 5 here to both sides to get x is equal to 221. Same thing here, add 5 to both sides. We get x is equal to be a negative 211. So these are the two solutions we've come up with. We need to verify that they're not extraneous solutions. So let's plug them back into the original equation, which was x minus 5 to the 2/3. X minus 5 to the 2/3 power. That equals 36, we hope. And when we plug in 221, if we plug in 221 minus 5 to the 2/3, does that equal to 36? Well, 221 minus 5 is 216 to the 2/3. Again, let's convert that 216 to the 2/3 to radical form. So that now means that this is going to be the index. And so this turns into the cube root of 216 squared. Well, the cube root of 216 is 6, because 6 times 6 times 6 would give us 216. So we got 6 squared. Well, yes, that equals 36. So that confirms that this is a solution. Now let's check negative 211. Again, the equation was x minus 5 to the 2/3 power equals 36. So I'm plugging in negative 211 minus 5. Negative 211 minus 5 to the 2/3 power. Does that equal 36? Well, negative 211 minus 5 is negative 216 to the 2/3 power. I think you can see where this is going to go now. The cube root of a negative 216, and then squared, does that equal to 36? Make that same transformation. The denominator becomes the index. The numerator becomes the exponent. Well, the cube root of a negative 216 would be a negative 6, because a negative 6 times a negative 6 times a negative 6 would be a negative 216. And if we square that, we're going to get a positive 36. And so we confirmed that not only is 221 a solution, but so is a negative 211. So those are the two solutions.